Hello, welcome back. Welcome to the course of Unix for Tester. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can compare two files using command diff command. Okay. So in my last video, I have shown you how we can use cmp command for comparison, and which was basically doing byte by byte comparison. Okay. Now in this case, if I use diff command, the comparison will happen line by line. If I was using diff command, it was showing me the difference was found in line 1 and byte 16th. Okay, but in diff command the comparison will happen line by line, and which is something which I find most useful as a testing point of view. Okay, so let's see how it works. Okay, so okay, let me show you the syntax. Basically, let me okay, so the syntax is something like diff, which is my command itself, and then I have some options which I can specify. Okay, again there are a huge number of options for this particular command, which I'm not going to talk about all, but just couple of options which we use more frequently and which we need basically. Okay, those options I'm going to talk here, and then followed by my file 1 and file 2. Okay, so this is the syntax, which is very simple. Okay, so let's see how diff works. Okay, so let me use diff command now. Diff, now my file 1 is new data, in which I have some data, and again it's same copy with some minor changes, and new data 1. Okay, I'll hit enter and you should see something like this. Okay, now there are few things you should notice over here. Okay, so give me a second. So what you see over here is you see some words like 1c1, and you see some less than symbol, you see some greater than symbol, you see something 18c18, something like that. Okay, so what are these things? Okay, so what this basically diff command tells you, the diff command tells you that what and all changes are required into the first file so that it will look exactly as same as your second file. I have two files, file new data and new data 1. So what this particular command will tell you, what and all changes you need in new data, which is my file 1, so that it will look exactly as same as my second file, which is new data 1. And basically the comparison happens line by line. Okay, so unlike its fellow member, like we have different commands for comparison like cmp, as I said earlier, and we have one more called as comm. It tells basically they tells us uh, byte by byte comparison, but in this case we see the comparison line by line. Okay, so it basically tells us which line in one file have to be changed to make the two files identical. Okay, so what these things are now: 1c1, less than symbol, greater than symbol. So basically this diff command give you the output, and it uses some special symbols and instruction to give you the output. Okay, so there are two things. The very first one is the special symbols, which are A, C and D. So as the name suggests, it is A for add, C for change, and D for delete. A for add, C for change, and D for delete. Okay, now what it tells, I'll tell you. Okay, and we have two more things, like we have one less than symbol, which refers first file. Okay, and we have some greater than symbol, which refers second file. Okay, now something should be clear to you. Okay, now what the first this 1c1 tells me. Okay, so this 1c1 tells me that, okay, this one is file 1. Okay, and this one is, sorry, this one is line 1 from file 1, and C is nothing but change, and this one is again line 1 from file 2. Okay, so what this basically is telling you, you need a change in line 1 of file 1 and line 2 of file 2. Okay, and where that change is, you can see the very first is less than symbol, that is this particular line is from my first file. Okay, so you can see the file, the following R, and in R I have R in uppercase in first file, and in second file I have it in lowercase. That's the only change what I have in this particular uh, line. Okay, so because of which I can see this particular difference. Okay, so I hope you are clear now. This one refers line 1 from file 1. C means you need particular change in line 1 of file 1 so that it will look exactly same as line 1 from file 2, and this one refers to line 1 from file 2. Less than symbol refers first file. This is required, this is line from my first file, and this is the greater than symbol as refers line 1 from my second file. Okay, on the similar line you see something next to that, you see something 7C7. This means there is a difference in line number 7 of file 1, and in order to make the lines equal, you need to do the change in line number 7. C means change. Okay, so you need to do the change. Okay, so you can see the difference lines, like less than symbol means first file, so the first file has something like octal description, and the second file means greater than symbol has something like hex description, so you need to have change over here. Okay, and again similar line I have something in line number 18 where again you need change. Now why I see only CCC, that is for change over here, because what I did is I simply went to the file, I made a copy and I did some changes in that. But if you have something extra into the file, then you may something like addition or something like deletion over there, right? But in my case, since I have only changed it, I'm not saying those things. Okay, but maybe you can give a try by adding some content or deleting some content from another file. You should get that. Okay, so that's basically, this is basically where very useful comparison for me if I want to compare two files. Okay, and now let us take an example. I want to ignore the case sensitivity. If you see the first difference, it is because of case sensitivity. I have uppercase R and I have lowercase r, and Unix is quite case sensitive. Okay, let us say I want to ignore case sensitivity. Okay, so what I can do is I can use option hyphen I again, which is option hyphen I is common for most of the commands, which is for to make case insensitive. Okay, so I can use something like diff option hyphen I. Okay, and followed by my file 1 new data and another file new data 1. Okay, now if you see when I didn't use option hyphen I saw three differences. The very first one was because of this R, okay, uppercase and lowercase. But when I use option hyphen I don't see the very first difference, which was because of case sensitivity. I just see other two differences. Okay, so this hyphen I is to skip is to make your comparison case insensitive. Okay, and we have another option which we use mostly, which is to ignore white spaces. Okay, if you have some white spaces in your file at the end of the file or something like that, and if you want to ignore them, you can use one of the option called as hyphen B. In my file, since I do not have it, I cannot show and demo it to you, but this will be used when you have some white spaces before or after your file, and if you want to ignore them from comparison, you can use this option, basically hyphen. So this is about how we can compare the file by using diff command. Okay, and there are many number of commands which you can find in the manual. Okay, so if I see man space diff, that is I can get the diff manual, and you can find it has a huge number of commands. Okay, so you can as per your requirement you can go here and you can try. But if I just want to compare the two files, the two options are useful to me, which are my option hyphen I to ignore case sensitivity, because I can see all the differences like this. Okay, and what else? Okay, there is one more option. Give me a second, let me check. There is one more option like hyphen Y, I guess. Let me check if it is diff, and if I use option as hyphen Y and new data, sorry, new data and new data 1. Okay, uh, from where it is starting, give me a second. Okay, so this file I will not be able to see it correctly, but I'll just tell you what this particular command does. This particular command does the comparison column by column. So it will put the file 1 in column 1 and file 2 in column 2, and it will show you the comparison results. Okay, So you can two files are like here you won't be able to see that much clearly because the files are big one, but you can see something like some pipe symbol over here. That means there is a difference over here, and you can see the difference is in between r, this the following r, I have uppercase r over here, and then I have this lowercase r over here in my second file. This is the one. Okay, again I see second pipe over here. That means there is a difference over here. You can see the first file has octal, second file has hex. Okay, and the third pipe is over here. That means some differences over here. That is, in my first file I have z9, and in my second file I have a9. Right, so if you want to have column by column comparison, if you want to put both files into columns, then you can use this option y hyphen y option as one of the option basically. Okay, so this is how you can do line by line comparison using diff command, and which I personally feel more useful to me when I want to compare two files in Unix, okay, as compared to byte by byte comparison rather. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.